I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 100 people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear
I think
listener.
that background music is a little loud.
Yes, dear listener.
How is everybody? What's wrong?
What? What has Patreon done?
Patreon has once again come to us with a stream. They've done their alliance polls. And here we have 4 songs on the docket tonight, and we're about to jump into song number 1.
All right.
Can I see that thing so I can back to Trello?
No, we'll do it right here. Look.
Okay.
Bang. Shebang. Here we go.
Read it close. Okay, the winner of S&G's first ever SG poll was Dire Straits' Money for Nothing. This song is from their 5th album, Brothers in Arms, 1985. Mark Knopfler wrote it about overhearing a delivery man in New York department.
He wrote it after overhearing delivery men in a New York department store talk.
Excuse me. Some of the lyrics are direct quotes from the conversation. So he was eavesdropping. This song also has
gossiping.
guest appearance
also dry snitching.
making money off it. This song also has guest appearance by Sting, The Police, who sings a signature falsetto introduction, background vocals, and a backing chorus. The lucky one who won the member week drawing to do the playlist for the poll was
Dwayne. Dwayne selected this, and
right.
wow, like this guy, like he's got a little bit more dimensions than you thought.
You gotta
my
shrink
God, these are a lot of lyrics, guy.
Shrink it, yeah.
All right. By the way, shout out to Misery Biz, who's an amazing leader of the which is that the Sin and Glory Alliance? He's the leader of now?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the big homie. All right, guys, here we go. First song up is a band named Dire Straits. Is that what you said?
Dire Straits, yeah.
Dire Straits is the name of the band.
The name of the song is Money for Nothing.
Money for Nothing. Let's do it.
Oh, he's running 2 alliances at the moment. Misery.
MTV.
Oh, I thought it said View.
Okay, so this is Sting doing this part. Doesn't that feel clubby almost?
Of course it is, Wayne.
Down! Go!
Look at them yo-yos, that's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Now that ain't working, that's the way you do it. Let me tell you, damn guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. To the little faggot with the earring and the makeup. Yeah, buddy, that's his own hair. The little faggot got his own jet airplane. The little faggot, he's a millionaire. We got to install microwave oven, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. Move on, move on. Huh. Mama, she got it sticking in the cameraman. We could have some. And he's up there. What's that? Hawaiian noises. He's banging on the bongos like a chimpanzee. Oh, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Get your money for nothing. Get your chicks for free. We got to install microwave oven, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. Listen here, now, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Money for nothing. Chicks for free. Money for nothing. And your chicks for free. Ooh, and money for nothing. Chicks for free. Money for nothing. Chicks for free. All that money for nothing. easy money. Easy, easy chicks for free. Easy, easy money. Chicks for free. I ain't working. That was
Alright.
Money for Nothing by the band
Dire Straits?
Dire Straits. Money for Nothing. This is probably the most conflicted I'm ever gonna be in a music review.
Why?
I'll explain why in a second, but I'll let you take off. Go ahead.
Okay, so
I think for this band, like this was their like a big song for them for this band. I'm not sure.
What year? 1985, right? For this?
Yeah. Like a hair like before our time, but go ahead.
For me, it was a little. He's singing about. He's saying like he should have been a guitar player. Like bring back MTV. I don't know whose perspective
Bring
it
back
is.
MTV.
Is that what he said?
No.
Or did somebody say that in the comment section?
No, I think this was when they were reacting to MTV.
I thought it said.
He says, "I want my MTV."
Oh yeah, I thought that meant bring it back. What does it mean? Like he this is way back then, and he wants to watch MTV, but then he's talking about the guitar players.
No, I think actually the song is actually about the effect on MTV on the quality and production of music and how that relates to capitalism. I think is what was going on with the song.
Okay.
So
Go
that's
ahead,
what I
keep
thought
going.
was going on lyrically.
So basically, they're talking about how MTV helped people in their musical careers and it helped it become a more capitalist run endeavor.
I think anytime you have like something that's like a new platform like MTV was, you always have the purists who are like, I remember watching a clip one time and people were talking about Madonna and they were saying like, isn't your acting in your music videos like taking away from the purity of the music? And she's like, what do you think I'm doing on stage? I'm acting on stage. So I thought it was a brilliant response. But again, like at the beginning, there was some like antipathy towards MTV. There was like a lot of like,
Really?
Oh yeah. At the very, very beginning. Like there I was watching that show.
Well, I thought
There's
MTV was just them playing music videos. What was...
Well, yeah, it was, but it was like the first time like young people had like a network that was, you felt like it was run. Now again, I wasn't watching MTV at the time. Like we got it in the 90s, but when you look at the like behind the music stuff and things like that, you can piece together that when MTV first came out, it was like one of the first times that like, because you have Nickelodeon or whatever, like the baby channel, and then you've got CNN for the adults. There was really nothing kind of like, and so younger people like gravitated towards MTV like crazy because like, oh, we got something and it's like a new medium.
What is the M for?
Music television.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, how do you combine television, which is huge, and You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like, so MTV was a crazy idea. It was criticized a lot by the experts, but then it and you know, there's a sense in which the criticisms of the experts came out to be true because MTV at this point almost never does music anymore.
What do they do?
It's like all reality shows and all this other stuff. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's honestly like I haven't even watched MTV in like 15 years, like honestly. And honestly, like YouTube kind of screwed up MTV as well. It's like I could just go. Whereas before, like you had to like be glued to the TV and watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So BT was BC was MTV guy, right? So it was like that's what it looked like. It was like, wow, we got this thing, but it was getting criticized because it was like your song could blow up because now you're in this new medium, but you're not necessarily good. You see what I'm saying? It's like now, like where you have these kids blowing up.
You're talking about like Britney Spears?
Well, like Britney Spears would be like a clear example of like, you know, a record label creation, right? Where like you're packaged a certain way, and because you have the visual aspect of like Britney Spears' career would have never took off without the visual aspect, right? And so like that was the criticism for a lot of bands. Like you could like blow up like instantaneously if you got a video on MTV, but it was like that doesn't necessarily mean that you're talented. It just means that there's this new medium here making people mega rich when you don't really have to be that good, which is how I am interpreting the song Money for Nothing. It's like this new generation of people are not very skilled, but they're making all this money because now we've got MTV. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like what people say about YouTubers. All they do is just click a button, shoot a video, make money.
Oh yeah.
Like
well, yeah,
I mean, it's a lot. Making a song entails a lot more than just picking up a guitar and strumming it, and then your bank account fills. Like, there's a lot in that.
Yeah. No.
But it's so.
Yeah, I agree.
So, okay,
I
this
agree.
Is what's confusing to me about the song is they're musicians saying that. So I feel like I'm missing something here.
Well, yeah, they're musicians saying that because they're saying we're the real musicians. We've studied at our craft. We got ourselves to the point where we're elite musicians.
Oh.
Then you guys show up from your garage.
And you just
and it
strum
just
a
so
guitar,
happens. It just so happens that you ended up on MTV, and now all of a sudden you're like this, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Imagine if you watched
and
somebody
it is kind
succeed.
of what people say about YouTubers like us. Yeah, for sure.
Imagine if you watch somebody succeed. And, like, you hear that, you know, like, they have those microphones that, like, change the tone so you can always hit your notes perfectly.
Yeah.
So, like, if you know, like, you're like Amy Lee. So after she does a show, she's back there still practicing her scales and stuff.
Correct.
So you're like a person like her, but you don't make it famous. Let's say she doesn't. And then you have somebody else who doesn't sing good, uses that mic, whatever, and they make it. They take off. So, yeah, I could see that. That'd be
Correct. Like,
yeah.
And like I said, the criticism eventually justified itself because, like I said, MTV is no longer about music at all. I mean, my first introduction to MTV, well, there was this band called Green Jelly, and they had a song called, like, Little Pig, Let Me In. It was, like, claymation. And it was, like, the pigs ended up, like, lighting up the wolf. They, like, shot him, like, with AK-47s, all type of shit. And so I was like, that was the first music video I ever saw on MTV. Came down to Florida, there it was. That was the first music video I saw.
Really?
So I memorized that whole song. Little pig, let me in. I was like obsessed with that song when I was a kid. I actually had an interview scheduled with the dudes from Green Jelly.
Really?
Yeah, but Ryan was born. So that was the end of it.
You know, we should do a video and have them react to it. Wait, is it scary?
No, it's claymation. But yeah, I just this like look what Kai says. We used to tape to VHS episodes of Headbangers Ball. It aired here at 1 a.m. on Mondays. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was the early days. So like now it's like the same thing because it's like, oh, you can be on SoundCloud, you know, get heard once by one guy and that's it. Like, you now have a record deal. I remember, like,
right. Yeah. People will make TikTok videos with their music in it. And if you just happen to put the right visuals behind your audio on TikTok, then it just, people use it in their videos. It starts getting spread all over the place and it takes off.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It's insane. It's insane. But like it, that line. There was a line in the song where he's talking about a gay person, and it's a.
Oh
it's
yeah,
a,
that's right.
And it was uncensored, unfiltered. And I'm watching Hunter, who's a really young millennial. He's like, because Sadie's like, there's a lot of people in the LGBT community that love that song, and he's like, I find that hard to believe. It's like, no, like this is what me and there's this other guy, like we both kind of grew up in the '90s, came of age in the '90s type of. Well, didn't come of age in the '90s, but we were young kids in the '90s, and we're always like, yo. It was just so much freer. Like you could say things and like people like today. It seems like nowadays people get offended because they're supposed to be offended.
Oh my god!
Like they're supposed to be offended.
Yeah.
It's like, girl. Well, if you came up in the '90s, man, like you just heard stuff like this in music. I mean, it just because it reflects real life. That's how people talk. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not for me to say, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as, like, I don't represent that community, but, it's just one of those, like, other sort of reminders that we are no longer in that kind of an era. Like, you can't write a song like this. Like, Korn, there's certain, I talk about it all the time with Homeboy. Like, there's songs that they can't write today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you see that as a negative or a positive?
Well, I think the point of what he was saying about that particular situation was, I think is his milk in there?
No, he's got it. Yeah, he's got it in his blanket.
I think what he was saying about the gay guy in the song was like, yeah, you can make fun of him all you want, but he's like filthy rich. See what I'm saying? I don't know if he was dissing David Bowie. I was also thinking about, what's his face? Dude that plays the piano, Elton John. So I was like, maybe that was an Elton John reference, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like, yeah, he did all this, and he's not a manly man, but he's a millionaire. That was the point of the, the thing. Yeah. Which a lot of those guys, David Bowie and all those guys, like, definitely utilize. I think he was probably referencing Bowie, because Bowie definitely utilized the visual aspect, and he definitely took advantage.
When you said it, I thought, probably more David. Is
yeah, he definitely took advantage of that. But yeah, man, like. You could hear stuff like that in a song, and it would not destroy the entire song. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't. Yeah. Now it's like, are you kidding me? Like, the band would get disbanded. I don't know what would happen today. You know?
So you think it's negative or positive? Or
I think it's absolutely negative that if this band came out with the song today, that they would absolutely be canceled. No record label would ever sign them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like the whole N-word discussion, which to me is just such a ridiculous, like, juvenile way to talk about it. But like, it's in rap music, and it'll be in rap music forever. That's never gonna change, right? So it's like, I will say this: society, I feel, was less inclined to violence during a period like this, when you could hear songs like this. It seems to me we were less divided, and we were less inclined to violence, or less inclined to dehumanize people that disagreed with us in the 90s versus today, where it's just so. No, I don't really see that
about the topic.
I don't really see that as a positive development in my opinion. I am not. So like I loved all the Sting parts in the song. And the irony of the song was like the only part of the song that I really enjoyed was Sting's part. I want my MTV. Yeah. The guy was kind of like talking through the song, and I wonder, like, I'm like, okay, maybe he's talking through the song to like kind of make the point, like, look, I've got this hit song, and all I'm doing is talking. See? Yeah. We don't need to make music anymore. Yeah. And then Sting comes in the background saying, I want, which is more of a conventional, like, ooh, this sounds really nice to my ears type of, like, this is good music. But he's saying he wants his MTV. And so, like, there's, like, that dichotomy of, like, MTV's ruining music. Yeah. But like, the best piece of music in this piece is going to be about a kid asking for MTV. So
that's interesting.
That's very interesting. But, as far as the song itself, I didn't like it, especially toward the end. When I saw there was like 2 minutes left, I was like, Subhanallah. Because it was just that same beat over and over and over again. I was like, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. So this young person, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to rank y'all at a 7.3.
Oh, I gave it a 7.2.
What? You did?
I did.
All right.
I did. I'm sorry, Dwayne. But hey, it's better than a 3.5. We'll be right back.
It is better than a 3.5. Okay. It's true. I was dancing, but only to the sting parts. Only to the sting parts. Actually, I'm in the Hard Rock. So we're in the Hard Rock Hotel right now, right? And so they give you names of whatever. Like they'll name your room after a band or whatever. So we get in, and guess which room we ended up in? The freaking Limp Bizkit room. I should send that to one of my band homies. Vin, you liar! What did I lie about? What did I lie about, y'all? What did I lie about, y'all? I promise you, that's what happened. I want my MTV. Oh, man, I really like that song. Amy Lee in the house. Amy Lee forever, bitches. What y'all on? Yeah. I ended up in the freaking Limp Bizkit room with Rihanna, like right above our bed post thingamajiggy. It's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. Walk in there and see Rihanna. Look, I don't like. What happened?
I'm gonna try to lay him down. Should I pull down from there?
What? Lay him down.
Yeah, he's tired, I think. I'm going to pull this over there and shut the light off.
Okay.
It's a bad idea.
Nope.
I can just take him out.
Corn Limp song. I mean, I remember when I first heard Limp Bizkit. It was the Nookie video. Actually, the first full Limp Bizkit song I heard was no, it was a Nookie video. It was a Nookie video. I wasn't sure if Fred Durst, if they were being serious or not. Like if it was like a, what do you call it? Like a parody band, like a Weird Al type situation.
Thanks.
It was like that. Like
all right.
For a long time, I would listen to that song and I'd be like, are they making fun of somebody? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling them that we ended up in the Limp Bizkit room.
Oh.
It was like, like the song Nookie. It really took me a good half a year, no bullshit, for me to be like, no, they're being serious. It's song, like, that's the song. It took me a very long time.
All right, you guys, we'll be right back. Did you do the commercial while I was gone?
4:50 announcement. 4:50 a.m. announcement. Vin, true. Is there supposed to be a big announcement at 4:50? No.
Stop doing that.
We don't have an announcement. I don't know if somebody else did. I had the misfortune of seeing Limp Bizkit live. They suck. All right, guys, here we go. Song number 2.
All right, song number 2. Are you playing the commercial or are we going into it?
Yeah, I guess we should play the commercial.
All
right, guys.
We'll give him little bits of
Commercial break. Be right back.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of Alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
Ah!
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSory. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sory and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Buy merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Jazakallahu khair.
Patreon stream in progress. We
Yes,
are on
dear
song
listener.
number 2. Can you go, honey? Go help.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Okay, so we have.
Don't really understand the logic here, but we'll just keep going.
Well,
with it.
it's probably it's not.
That's okay. Go ahead.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm just gonna.
Wait.
What?
What a weird life. I have such a weird life. All right. Anytime that happens, guys, just do and ask me anything, and I'll answer any question that you have. You said that the announcement was fake. How did you know it was fake? I don't understand what just happened. I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know. Is that a you and Amy discussion? I'm not sure. Oh, so he's back where he was originally.
That's what I'd said.
Okay. Like I originally said.
Oh God. Help me.
Was the announcement that the announcement was fake? I don't really know what the announcement is, so
No,
I
there was
don't
an
know if the
announcement that there was
fake
going to
or
be a
not.
fake announcement coming up, and then we were going to announce it, but we didn't announce it because Vin didn't announce it. Just kidding, none of that. I just made the whole thing up. Let's go. Okay, Sin and Glory is the next group up.
I was explaining to them that we ended up in the Limp Bizkit room.
Yeah, you told me.
New metal in this bitch. All right, go ahead.
Okay, Sin and Glory one-hit wonders poll suggested by yours truly, Misery Biz.
Shout out to Misery Beast.
Had songs from bands or artists who are generally remembered by their one-hit song that overshadowed their other work. The song for Los Angeles-based glam metal band Ratt, R-A-T-T, founded in 1973 with different name, was Round and Round from their 1984 album Out of the Cellar. This was Archero's jam. All right, let's check it out.
All right, guys, here we go. I was taught to be the gray man, not say anything, but see everything. Here we go. Ratt, Round and Round, and it is a lyric video. Pay close attention, dear listener. Here we go.
Out on the streets, that's where we meet. You make the night. I always run.
do it. Whoa! Harmonizing the knees. Get out! Get out! Line, that line.
Round and round, with love find a way, just give it time. Round and round, what comes around goes around. I'll tell you why. Round and round, with love find a way, just give it time, 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 time. What comes around goes around. I'll tell you why.
All right, that was a song called
Oh my God, Sadie,
Round-
that's so funny to read. It's so bad.
Round and Round by
If my nose
Ratt.
gets bumped and like
Ratt.
that weird feeling that you get in your nose, when I get that feeling, there's somebody I get mad at. Dude. Not gonna name any names, but your comment draw my attention. All right. So basically, this is like almost like a Cowboys from Hell, a little bit. He's saying they were going
Really?
out. Well, pull up the
Cowboys
lyrics.
from Hell? What are you
Well,
talking
not
about?
Cowboys from
Cowboys
Hell,
from
but
Hell was like, hey, we're rock stars. We're going to fuck up your village.
yeah, but he's also.
That's not what he was saying in this song.
It sounded like they were living it large and loud. Let me see. And then it didn't work out, and then he was basically saying what goes around comes around. Okay, out on the streets, that's where we'll meet. You make the night.
So
I
wait.
always cross the line.
This
What?
is a one-hit wonder? This was their only song, and then that was it?
That's right. It was one hit wonder. I forgot about
terrible. Shout out to Ratt. Rest in peace to their career.
that. Tightened our belts, abused ourselves. Okay, so when it said tightened our belts, that's one of two things. It's either put your seatbelt or it's, you know when they put the belt around the arm before they go to,
The drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
probably what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out on the streets. That's where we'll
Get
meet. You make the
get in
night.
our way. We'll put you on on your shelf. Yeah, see that this sort of attitude, like they're out there, like
Yeah, but I don't know if he's like talking about the band. Like
No.
Pantera was like, we are we
yeah,
are
yeah,
the
yeah,
Cowboys
yeah.
from
Yeah.
Hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I just mean that attitude. Get in our way. We'll put you on your shelf. Another day, some other way. We're gonna go, but then we'll see you again. I've had enough. We've had enough. Cold in vain, she said. I knew right from the beginning that you would end up winning. I knew right from the start you'd put an arrow through my heart. Round and round. With love, we'll find a way. Just give it time. I'll tell you why. Looking at you, looking at me, the way you move, you know it's easy to see. The neon lights on me tonight. You've got a way. We're going to prove it tonight like Romeo to Juliet. Time and time. I'm going to make you mine. I've had enough. We've had enough. It's all the same. Okay, so...
it's a relationship song.
Yeah, and it seems like, so I thought that they actually, so I thought that they were going around running the town, you know what I mean, like just doing whatever. But then I thought that they actually broke up because it said round and round. What comes around goes around. What comes around goes around. Yeah. So I thought like she broke his heart and that's why he kept repeating that line. I was like, yeah, but that doesn't actually look like it's what it is, right? What do you think that is? I don't know.
What do you mean?
When it says with love, we'll find a way, just give it time round and round. what comes around goes around. Usually when somebody says what comes around goes around, they mean like karma. Like you're going to get, and it's usually in a negative.
Karma!
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think maybe he's saying like round and round in the cyclical sense. Because the song ends the way it begins. Like,
round and round.
Well, at the beginning of the song, he says,
"Oh, he does it on the streets. That's where we'll meet.
On the streets, that's where we'll meet. Blah blah blah. You make the night, yada yada yada." And then at the end of the song, it pretty much ends the same way. Out on the streets.
Yeah, Arturo, that was my feel.
What?
Like, it kind of seemed like it might have been like an on and off
that's
type
what I'm saying,
of thing.
like the cyclical nature.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like going around and coming around, I don't think is a karmic implication here. I think it's
the nature of their relationship,
of the volatility of their relationship.
Yeah.
You know, because he's in and out, that type of thing. Which we're watching a show right now where there's this kind of relationship that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, like in any way, shape, or form. Because it's like it's this woman and she's like literally perfect. Like,
I mean, I've seen her flaws, but. Vin has another take about her.
She's like,
she's
absolutely.
She
perfect.
says the perfect thing at the perfect time. Her hair is always perfect.
But she. No, I'm talking about her attitude.
Yeah,
like her
she always
attitude
knows the right thing to do or say.
As my Muslim friend said,
she always has the paperwork before it's ready, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but like she's very insightful and like emotionally supportive and just genuinely wants the best for people, even if it's going to cost her something. But like, they're always in each other's orbit, but they never really commit to each other. And the show, in my opinion, doesn't do a lot of explaining as to why that is. But those on again, off again relationships that carry all that tension and all that shit, like people love those. I don't know why, but people love those kinds of. They love those situations.
The people in the relationship.
No, people
like
watching.
Like to watch it?
People like watching those things like unfold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when there's like if there's like sexual tension or whatever between two people. But it's like subtle. It's not like out there.
Oh yeah.
Like it's fun. That's like one of the funnest things to watch on TV.
But not like when things aren't going well between people. I don't like it.
Well, yeah, but the song's not about that. The song is about like.
Oh, I thought this was the off and onness of their.
Well, I'm interpreting it like a dude, which is to say that like he gets in a certain kind of mood, like because that happens. Like you get in a certain type of mood, you want to be with a certain type of girl. You see what I'm saying? And then when that mood leaves you, then you don't want to be with her. So, you know what I'm saying? So like I understand. I'm looking at it from the perspective of not that there's anything seriously bad happening in the relationship to make it on again, off again, but more of like, the shit that I grew up with, which is like, generally speaking, like that's how they go on again, off again. On the guy's side, I don't know. On your side, it's probably. You were thinking something seriously bad had to happen for them to keep breaking up, or what?
No. I think that some relationships are they're fiery and they're toxic, and people take breaks from them in that regard. Or sometimes it's just like you were explaining, like maybe it's something that he wanted to do this whatever. Like maybe being with her was like vanilla, like maybe that was like regular life, and maybe that wasn't really. Maybe he or she wanted to do something outside of just regular vanilla life with the other
it looks
person.
like they met each other kind of like in the streets in sort of like a drug environment.
Right.
It looked like initially, right?
But he says he knew right from the second he saw her she was going to put an arrow through his heart.
Yeah, like the streets have such a like. When you hear street dudes talk about the street, like they talk about it as if it's like like it has its own ontology and ego. Mm-hmm. Like, the streets won't forgive you, or the streets will always tell you, or whatever. But like, people talk about like the street code, and that shit is real. And it was hard because we were going into like a downtown kind of area. There were going to be some street folks, and I just remember being like, that was like my number one thing I was worried about. I'm like, these are all suburban people. They don't know anything about how street people operate. Like, so that's when I used to be so paranoid about OPSEC and all the rest of it. Cause I was like, Man, you guys, you know,
I didn't
I was
realize.
like super, and that's, I mean, I was, you know, taking trips in between
Yeah.
time on that shit, so like
Yeah.
that was just like all in my brain. But yeah, I was like, there's a bunch of suburban white people coming up here. I was like, man, you know, and you know me, I'd have felt bad if something happened to somebody. I'd have felt responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my gosh.
these people didn't want to take their kids to church and shit down there because it was hectic. That people were getting, you know, people got stabbed over there, all types of shit. So
People would show up to church drunk. I loved it.
yeah, like, you know, I wasn't worried about dude. Like, dude up there, he was fine. Like, you know, like he wasn't a street guy, but he understood. You know what I mean? But like the rest of y'all, I'm like, man,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. that was a pretty bad time. Anyway, I really the
It had such an 80s feel to it, right?
mm-hmm.
I really liked that. I think, and it had like that sort of like grungy 80s feel, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like that sort of, not like a raspy, like the same, that Black Velvet song, you know, remember that one?
Yeah,
Revolver
you
or
know,
something?
people have a problem with like glam metal or whatever metal this is like the poppy type of metal. I'm sorry, man. Like I like that shit. I like it.
Mhm.
You know, like I do not like.
Is it rock?
Yeah, it's glam
Yeah.
rock, stadium rock, whatever people want to call it. You know,
Yeah.
like the thing is, I didn't come up in that era, so all those songs are like they're not new to me, but they're like, you know. So like some of those melodies, like those guys were really good at melodies. They were badass on course. They were really good at like building tension in music, especially with using their usage of the bass drum, like the like they
Yeah.
got some sort of like modified version of it, but they really
Yeah.
like relied heavily on the bass drum, which I think is something I would love to do, like in a band. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they're just, I really like it. And I know like it's not really metal to like hair bands or glam metal or whatever. I don't care. Like I like what I like. I don't like what I don't like. It is what it is.
Facts. This one actually is getting a pretty high rating for me. I liked it a lot. This is a 9.6.
9.6.
Yes, sir. 9.6.
Well, I think. Let me see here. So he's saying. Oh, those are the other. Those are the
You want
other.
these? Here you go.
Yeah, I don't know about a 9.6. I really like that chorus. I love that solo, man. That solo, they got two harmonizing lead solos, and then they just relied on the rhythm section to kind of make up the difference.
Mhm.
And I thought it worked. It worked really well. And like, it is so hard. They're like editing. I probably should just like leave that to you, because like editing certain guitar parts to like, because I'm harmonizing them. It's me playing both, and it's so hard to get them together. And like
I wish you would let me do it. I would enjoy it.
harmonizing lead solos live, I just think is like just some of the pinnacle of musicianship to me, to a degree, because not only do you have to do it, and not only do you have to be proficient, but it's an entirely different layer to be on timing with another guy. Like that's incredible to me, especially at the rate of speed that these guys play with and the precision. Like that is very, very, very difficult to do. Really difficult to do, and you have to be really, really talented to pull that shit off. And again, music has evolved, and so like there's not a lot of bands doing a lot of those kinds of solos anymore. But that just hit it for me, and that's why I think some of this music is evergreen. You can call it glam rock, you can call it whatever
Yeah.
you want, but I just think like that chorus,
Yeah.
that chorus is gonna be good 20 years from now. Like, you know, Orion's kids, if they hear that chorus, they're gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an evergreen thing. So.
Production was a kind of meh.
What?
The production was meh.
I thought the production was incredible. What are you talking about?
Huh?
Like that was one of the criticisms of this genre of music, was that it was overproduced.
It didn't seem like a good, clear track to me.
What did you give it?
9.6.
I'll give it a 9.7, dear listener. We
I
shall
wonder
return.
why you picked that score.
There are more Alliance streams coming up.
More
We've got
songs,
song
two
number
more on the
3
way.
coming
Two
for
more on the way.
you beautiful people. It was okay. So see, Neil said it was a huge song. So there you go. There's
Well,
no
what do
way
you
it
mean,
was
there
a.
we go.
There's no way it was a huge song if it was badly produced.
Oh, I'm not saying it was necessarily that copy. I felt like didn't sound very good. Maybe it was because it was old, or I don't know.
Commercial break. We
What do you
shall
want me to,
return.
what do you want me to
dear
say? Would it
listener.
lie to you?
I'm dead.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that
can
off.
also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee,
Can't
a positive
guarantee you
review.
a positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A channel shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes,
Like
dear
that-
listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We're in the midst of a
This is an alliance stream.
alliance stream.
A few of our Patreon alliances have come together to create this stream for us. Song number 3 on the list is from Rock of Ages. The name of the song, the band is Boris. The name of the song is called Pink. Let's see. The winner of ROA's Noise Rock Poll was Japanese experimental rock band Boris, formed in 1992 with the title track from their 10th studio album Pink, 2005. This was our Chero's pick.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
let's check it out.
Well, they're an experimental what now?
He said that they were an experimental rock band. Japanese experimental.
All right.
Probably the other word we're looking
So,
for.
yeah, a Japanese experiment. I'm very interested.
Yeah.
Boris.
Pink.
The name of the song is Pink. That was Boris. No. Boris
yeah,
is the name of
it
the...
was Boris. The name of the song is Pink.
Boris is the name of the band.
Boris is the band. The name of the song is Pink.
The name of the song is Pink.
I prefer that other one, the other Pink song.
I think that this song is... Okay. You go first.
You want me to filter myself
No.
for the people?
No. Don't filter yourself for the people.
Okay, I'm sorry. This
The
is
people
trash.
want to know the truth.
This is trash. I couldn't believe that this is even for real. I feel like this is a joke. I feel now like I was going to look it up because I don't even believe it's drums. It sounded like barrels that they were banging on. It was chaotic. I could not, like, I'll tell you, this is kind of weird though. There was 2 spots in the song, and I wouldn't be able to point them out to you. They were toward the beginning, where I felt like the song was like, "You should like us," but I didn't like the song, so I couldn't jump in there with it. There was only 2 points that kind of wanted to try to win me over, but the rest of it I just really didn't like. And the longer that it went, I just couldn't even understand why. When it was like done, then they went back in again. Like I felt like it was like the person that like gets mostly murdered and crawls out of the bush just get murdered. That's what it felt like to me. So I'm sorry if they I didn't like it though.
I absolutely... Okay. So when everybody knows when the first thing I do is I think, how would this sound live?
Man.
How would this sound live? And I think to myself, this is either going to be the worst band live ever, because the premise of this song and this genre, somebody says noise rock. I've never heard of this before.
I thought you were joking. Negative.
No.
Negative said noise rock. I thought it was a joke.
There's stuff called shoegaze. I think he's probably being serious. I mean, they know that we're like very ignorant about this shit like overall, so they could be trolling us, but
Negative says they are killer live, so maybe you're right.
But that was the thing. Like, they either are going to be so horrible live that all you're hearing is intonations and from the amp, or it's going to be the most incredible. You know how people go, "Oh, that was an experience." Like, no, dude, you went to a rock show.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a kind of Corn at Woodstock. That's an experience, right? Mm-hmm. Like early Slipknot, when they were touring to promote the Iowa record, that is an experience.
Oh.
Seeing your favorite band is great, but it's not an experience. Like when I saw Korn for the first time, it was great. But it wasn't an experience. Woodstock 99 was an experience. I'm talking about your life has changed.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Seeing Slipknot when they were touring for that Iowa record, I'm telling you, it changed your life. It did. This is a kind of band that if they're good live, and I don't know if they're good live. Amy, check your messenger. If this band is good live, then they would be a band that would give you an experience. Like, you would leave from that show like a different person. That's what I think, if they're good, because of what they did with their music. Because what they did was extremely challenging, and I'm not sure that they could pull it off sonically live. Because, like, the premise is like noise, but you're able to differentiate the noise because nowadays everybody's got these high-tech headphones and shit that can, like, parse out treble and bass and all the rest of it, like, so now. But, like, the way they did the noise, it was like an amoeba. I always talk about, like, being an amoeba, right? Where you have that flexibility, but you also have, like, there's an outline that differentiates you from, water or whatever. And so, like, there was a lot of noise in this and, like, a lot of, like, gain. It's like, remember you turn the gain up on the amp and it's, like, almost illegible?
Yeah.
But the other instruments were precise enough to where the noise itself almost provided a sort of background, and you can create noise in certain pitches and tones based on what you do with notes. Like I did that in that song. Like, I mean, technically that's just noise, but I did the noise in C sharp or whatever. See what I'm saying? So, like, I loved this song. A lot.
What?
A lot. I love
What?
this song. It was great. It was great. Lyrically, I don't really know what was going on. I don't really know what was going on relative to what was going on lyrically here, but sonically, it was like one of the first times when I'm like, I see what this guy's doing. And you're right, it's only 2 notes. They were just going back and forth with only 2 notes, but like they beat the hell out of that tree. They knocked all the apples out of that tree. And I thought it was great. I loved it.
No. I thought it was horrible. I thought it was terrible. You know what? It's too. I know this is going to be so bad. I have a lot of kids. It sounds too much like what kids sound like when they're doing stuff. It was just a lot of banging. There was not a lot of consistency between the sound. I felt.
Well,
There was nothing. No.
Well, that. The only time I felt that kid shit was at the very end when it looked like the song was over, and then all of a sudden there was like this random verse again. It was so bad. I thought to myself, that's probably a fan that didn't want the song to be over, and so just like pasted that.
Yeah, that used to happen in some of our lyric videos, but there's no way our chair would have let that happen.
Yeah, so like I don't know, like but it wasn't an official video, so I can't hold that against the band. Like I gotta hear that. I gotta hear them do that themselves. There was no transition. There was no attempt at a transition. There was no like familiar notes connecting anything.
Yeah,
it was just
man.
like that. No, I enjoyed the song a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, Hunter. I don't know if you're the only one that brought that up. Multiple people brought that up about like Peace Cells. I do feel the same way that I felt when I listened to Peace Cells. The same sort of like, I don't like this agitation. Almost like Bach.
Yeah. Your Peace Cells reaction was always weird to me. Like I never thought it was.
I should give it another try.
I never thought it was as bad as you thought it was. I mean, Imagine was worse than I initially thought that it was.
Than you imagined it to be.
Than I imagined it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Dwayne. We will see you, beautiful, wonderful image.
Wait. What did you rate it?
What did you rate the song?
I'm giving this lovely song a 2.1. 2.1.
This is a 9.8 for me. A 9.8.
You did that because of my 2.1, right?
Partly because of your 2.1.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're rating.
But
first.
see, I don't lie. I don't bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
so if that was it, I'm gonna
score
stay
because we want to know what your actual score would have been if you weren't trying to compensate for mine.
Probably a 9.6. I really enjoyed.
Well, I
the song.
appreciate the
honesty, and I really respect what they did. I truly believe that what they did on this song is very difficult to do.
I'm just gonna say,
I would challenge you if you think it's just noise, blah blah blah. Okay, you go out and do a song like this, which is kind of ridiculous. It's not like people can just forget my challenge.
Thank you, Dethroner.
Forget my challenge.
I have to say, if I'm in a certain mood where I've hit that certain level of agitation where basically, when I hit that mood where it's like, don't just let me be. Just let me be, okay?
Don't poke the bear.
Don't poke the bear, but I feel like you do poke the bear. But anyway, let's say you're in that situation and you was to play this song, and then, I don't know what would happen. I don't know what happened to anybody.
I have ideas of what would occur.
I have a few ideas as well, but we're not going to get into it here. All right, we got one more song, you guys. Don't go anywhere. Hang out with us a little bit longer.
3.5 was too much. You see what you've done? You've spread your heresy.
That's true.
You spread your heresy to even to the righteous, like Middle Earth.
Wait.
He said 3.5 was too much.
Wait, what do you mean? Middle? You were like excellent, all these words during the thing. I don't understand.
Maybe he was talking about
something else.
All right, guys. Shout out to Wolf's Howl. We have another song coming for you on the other side of the break. You can check it out. I'm going into my messages. I shall return. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone. Until next commercial.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itstory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSory. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sory and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch. Buy our merch indeed.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
So buy our merch. All right.
Dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener.
Okay, so we are on the last song of our Patreon stream, but that's okay because we're still going to be here. Okay, you know what, babe? I don't want to screw this up here. Can I hit this X?
Yes.
Okay. I can't. Guys. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Oh, great. Look at that name title. Esoctrilihum XN Sulf.
What?
First passage. Exiled from sanity.
That looks like Esoctrilihum X Enai Sulf. First passage, exiled from sanity.
That's what I said.
Okay.
All right. So, winner of the black metal free for all. What did you say the name of the band is?
Esoctrilihum.
This band
Esoctrilihum
is a one-man black death metal band with some avant-garde tendencies. Asselgull, the stage name. Oh God, babe, can you read that? Am I reading that wrong?
Estakul.
The stage name of the musician for the band hails from France. Neil was the member who submitted this pick.
What a shocker that it was Neil.
Surprise.
That it was Neil who submitted that pick. What a shocker.
All right, let's check it out.
All right, here we go, boys and girls, ladies and gents, and anything and everything in between. X in a Soph. All right, Neil Murray, let's see it. Hey, that's +1. Yeah, the lyrics. What instrument is that? That
Wow.
was
That was from Neil, right? Neil picked that one?
That was from Neil. This
Good job, Neil.
This is
Good job.
that was the most unique song I've heard
Yeah, it
in
was
the year of
definitely unique.
2023.
Lyrically, too, was pretty...
You hear people say, blah, 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 everybody sounds the same, yada, yada, yada. These guys are really, really different. The way they did that breakdown with that piano, it's usually what happens is...
Wait, if you put it on that side?
Usually what happens is you put the piano in there, like in the little cool down section, you have a little ring out.
Yeah.
Then you get the little piano playing. It's very nice and contemplated. Then you go back into the breakdown or whatever. They do the breakdown and maintain the exact same pace with the keys on the piano, which the juxtaposition was incredible because it's like we've been trained, especially as metalheads, when the breakdown thing happens, that's when you lose your mind and don't think. And they're like, "Yup, so here's all the chug-a-lug shit, and we're gonna like hit these notes in the exact same tempo that we did before we did the tempo change." I thought that was incredible. That was very, very challenging as a listener. There were a lot of things in this band where it's like somebody used the term disjointed, and I can understand like on a first listen where it might appear disjointed, but I got it. Like I got what they were doing conceptually,
me too.
and it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Like it was very, very unique, without an inch of pretentious BS, which is what I hate in anything progressive. I would say that this is a progressive black metal song, if not a progressive black metal band, but definitely at least a progressive song.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even see the disjointedness of the song. I felt like it was really... I liked it. I did think that there was like two
One
different
kind of
transitions
rhythm
that
change
were
was kinda awkward.
really abrupt.
Yeah.
There was two of those.
That's what
I
he
would
was
have
talking
just
about.
like, oh, okay, then I would have like just faded into that. So then all of a sudden it kind of like creeped up on us and it was like there. That's what I would have done with that part. But you know, I'm not him. But yeah, because I was able to enter into the song and it like took me on this journey, and it was weird too because like it was taking like on this journey, and then all of a sudden like it took like a turn, and I felt like, man, you don't know Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
But they do. So.
You know, like the tunnel that they go down when they're like going through the whole place, and they go down this dark tunnel, and then like all this like craziness starts happening. They're cutting off heads of chickens, and all kinds of weirdness is happening, and then they come out on the other side.
In the show for kids?
Yeah, you see a chicken get its head cut off. Yeah. So they're flashing through all those things, and it's kind of like a weird and crazy scene. This song had a piece that did that. Like, I forgot for a second that I was like listening to a song because it took me on such a journey, and I went through this horrible space and then came out on the other side, and I was like, oh my gosh, like going through a tunnel and coming out to the brightness of the sun on the other side. So this song was pretty crazy. Lyrically, I also thought it was pretty. Can I see that so I can?
Are you serious? You can't see this?
Why do you have to do this? You want to mock me every time we do this stream about I can't see it?
There you go.
Far away I hear whispers, cries, and a distress signal. A black well in the sands call for the tortured.
Well, I gotta be black, though.
That part, I wasn't really sure what was happening because a black well in the sands call for the tortured. I don't know what they mean by that.
A black well in the sands call the tortured.
Eventually, it just kind of sounds like he's making his way to hell, but...
Well, yeah, he's basically saying people are being tortured above ground, and then when they're done torturing them, they throw them into this black well.
Oh.
That's what that means.
Okay. I fall into a terrifying precipice of madness, the insidious call of murder and despair. At the bottom, a creature speaks. This was so crazy because... Man, everybody I think has found, well, I don't know. How can I speak for everybody? I think if you found yourself at the place where you're deeply in deep, deep despair, like this guy captured what that's really like what it sounds like. And even that, the insidious call of the murder and despair. I know at the bottom, a creature speaks. I am a liberation for your soul. I need you. Feed my hunger and fulfill my dark desires. No child will survive. This generation will rot to the entrails of the earth. By your hand, I will take possession of mankind. So it's crazy because when this being or whatever it is first starts speaking, so the person is at the depths of despair, and from that depths, there's voices wherever you go, whatever is going on in your life, whether or not you recognize those voices or you even listen. Like you'll have people say, well, I was thinking about this. I was having a conversation in my head about this. There's a small percentage of people that don't have ongoing conversations in their heads. But most of us do. So like in this situation, you have this guy and he's going through all this and then he's finding himself at the bottom of the pits of despair. And then a voice starts talking back to him. And at first the voice seems like, I need help. You know what I mean? Like I could just use some help from you. And it almost, you would think like maybe this person, like this being or whatever, needs a drink or something. I don't know. But then as it progresses, it like takes a dark turn because you realize that being just wants to use that person. Like that person made it to the depths of despair, and now something or someone or whatever down when they're in that depths wants to use them to overtake or possess mankind. So just like being used at the bottom of your pit of despair. But then it said, okay, the evil shadows keep calling and my reason fails. No one can help me. It's an incurable disease. I am the medium of unspeakable powers, and yet I hope, though hope weakens me while I'm left waiting. That part, I mean, I'm curious to hear what you got out of that. For me, like the person's at the bottom of despair, they're at this place, but then like this evil just keeps overshadowing them. And I obviously thought of the sin nature and how like it's inescapable, like how all of us we're prone to mess stuff up. We're prone to ruin things and hurt people. And so that to me was kind of like that evil, but then it could also be the evil that wanted him to overcome mankind. It could be that as well. But when he said, nobody can help me, it's an incurable disease. And then he says, and yet I hope, though hope weakens me. I initially, when I heard that line, I thought he was saying that, like, when he hopes, I think what he's saying is that when he hopes, it weakens him because it kind of, like, puts him in, like, a vulnerable place. Because he's not like, I'm just down in these depths and I'm staying here. It's like this hope that maybe there's a way out, or maybe there's something out beyond it. But what did you get out of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a challenging topic for me. I was in a discussion one time and a person was talking about like the insanity plea or something like that. It's about sociopathy or something like that. And I said, no, I'm not a really big fan of the insanity plea. And if I'm on a jury,
yeah.
If I'm on a jury and you killed a family or you killed some little girl, I mean, the only reason I'm not going to say what I would do is because I don't believe that I can tell the future. But I'd be extremely surprised if I countenanced an insanity plea for 2 seconds for that kind of crime. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, it's a very fascinating discussion because, so for example, none of us believe that Adolf Hitler was in his right mind.
Right.
And it's a documented fact that Adolf Hitler was involved in the occult. So it's like, okay, so does the insanity plea work for him? So when he goes to The Hague and they jam him up and he's in The Hague and he's testifying about these 6 million beautiful image bearers of God that he superintended the massacre of and the experimentation on, as if these people who the scripture says are crowned with glory and honor.
Then they tore them from their families.
People who brought us the prophets, the people who brought us Jesus Christ himself, those people, he massacred those people. Was he sane when he was massacring those people? Hell no. But none of us give him an inch of sympathy and say, oh, that poor Hitler for his mental health condition. Yep. So you want me now to like look at little mini Hitlers and their little mental health conditions. Like, I don't, sorry. However, there have been documented episodes in secular / materialist worldview, call it what you want, of people who were not in executive control of their bodies. Let me say it that way. Like something or some other consciousness was driving that car. And, you know, we've talked about this where like we've got documented secular think tanks and outlets that are publishing peer-reviewed documents talking about beings that communicate telepathically, almost univocally on the UAP, close encounters research, it's all telepathic communication. But there are other phenomena that are observable, like the famous one we talked about where the woman heard the voice of a nurse that says you have a tumor in your head and you need to get it done or you're going to die. And of course she goes to her doctors. You don't just get an MRI on order. They wouldn't believe her. She went up, I mean, like literally she had to go to England for something, went back home, finally convinced them that, and they looked and sure enough, there was the cyst. They removed it, saved her life. Upon waking up, this woman hears in her head, we were very happy we were able to assist you. Have a great day. And never heard it again. This is a documented, secular, peer-reviewed. Okay, something communicated with this woman.
Yeah.
Some non-corporeal, non-physical entity communicated with her in such a way as to affect her actions in the real world that had actual physical material results. There was a tumor and they extracted it. Okay, if that is true, and that happened, and I'm speaking as a secularist because most of our audience is secular. If that's true and that happened, and if we don't even know what consciousness is and where consciousness originated from, on what basis can you then say that it is impossible that a malevolent, non-human entity could communicate? We've got people in the highest branches of the military and the intelligence community saying this stuff on air and testifying.
Right.
Testifying. Non-human intelligences. Okay. What basis can we say that these beings or entities that can communicate telepathically and influence things in the material world, on what basis can we say that there are not malevolent individuals who have the ability to do that and have cross-dimensional communication, that just like in the intelligence business, you find a vulnerable person, you find a vulnerable, disaffected male between 18 and 26, and it's the same story over and over again. How do you know that they're not doing that? Like, a vulnerable human between X and Y age, blah, 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 that we have no defenses against it because most of you guys are, I mean, most people are closed-minded and think that, and want to believe that the only thing that's real is what they can see, even though they know that that's not true.
Yeah.
In a bunch of different levels. So, like, it's really fascinating. So for me, like, when I hear this song and I hear, like, the slip into insanity and things like that, like, I'm always like in that tension between what is the area of responsibility that a person has for their own actions over and against, but these things seem to be really influential to the point where biblically and from a secular perspective, where these people have uncommon strength, power, intellect, language, professorial understanding of things that they should not have understandings for at very young ages, like really crazy shit. So it's like, I don't know where the area of like responsibility goes over from that person to that being, but it's one of the things that makes me stop and pause. And when you think about like world leaders and things of that nature, like if I was a malevolent non-human entity and I wanted to, for some reason, these things are not allowed to just kill us wholesale. And it's so funny because when you listen to these people talk about these UAPs and these aliens and what they're saying, it's like some of them are malevolent, some of them are very hateful, and they experiment on you and they extract, children and take children away from you, and then there are other ones who heal you. And then it's like they're hanging around nuclear facilities, disarming and arming nuclear. So it's like, I don't know, man. That playbook seems pretty familiar to me, where you have super intelligent, telepathic, communicative beings who superintend what happens over nations and then cancel each other out with their power. And there's rules of engagement as far as how they engage human beings. And it seems that angelic activity is limited to God sending them to deliver a message, or us calling for help. So it just, the template to me is like exactly the same. Like you can reconstruct a biblical cosmology just by looking at your TV screen right now. And it's fascinating to me that like people are not recognizing like the obvious connections. Okay, we've got these giant beings of light that cannot directly interface with you for whatever reason. Some want to do you harm, some want to do you good, some are protecting you, some are stopping us from going into World War III. Like, okay, whatever you want to call those things, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that like this does provide some explanatory power for mass shooters and things like that. And when you think about the fact that it's happening the most in America, in the most powerful country, it would stand to reason that if I was a hostile entity, I would be going to the area that has the most influence in the world so I could promote the most evil in the world.
Right.
And so if you look at which country has been literally raising hell on earth for the last 20 years. And it's like, that's how I know that a lot of these preachers are bullshit. Because these end time preachers, because if they really, really believe the shit that they say, they would say that America is clearly the beast. Or America is clearly the seat of the Antichrist. Because we've been the world's terrorists in my conscious life for the last 20 years. We've been globally terrorizing everybody. You see what I'm saying? So like my point is, if there were going to be non-human intelligences that were hostile to mankind, who would you give the most attention to? And it would be China, Russia, and America. The Russians, because they're aggressive enough and crazy enough to actually do that shit. The Chinese, because they're ambitious enough to do anything and everything, so they'll completely sell their people out to those. We don't know what those people want. And the Americans, for obvious reasons. And so it's like, who's been fucking shit up for the last? It's been us. We've been doing a bunch of satanic, really evil shit. We've been doing a lot of like shit that's like listed in this thing where it's like, these people won't have a generation. We're going to kill them all. They're going to be in the entrails of the earth. It's like, who's doing that?
Yeah.
In the world, right? It's us. Like, we are the demon-possessed nation. But that's how you know, like, I'll tell you what, when you turn on a TV and you hear a guy say, we are a violent people, we spend trillions of dollars to drown this planet in the blood of innocent human beings, we obviously are the beast that the scripture's talking about, clearly.
Yeah.
If you ever hear a guy say that, follow that guy. Follow that guy. Or take a good picture of him, because you'll never see him again. But, like, that's real, man. That's really, really, really real. Really real.
What did you think about the Hope line?
Yeah, it's just disinformation. Yeah, where he talks about hope weakening him. I think, like, if you had... It reminded me of the Bane quote to Batman when he says, peace has cost you your strength, victory has defeated you. So like when you're hopeless, there's a certain kind of hardness that you have when you're hopeless that you do not have when you have hope. So it weakens you because when the hope gets disappointed, you're set back a lot more than if you were expecting to be let down.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bible says hope deferred makes the heart sick. So hope that's dashed away or taken away from you, it like sickens your heart. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got, I got this guy, and we're not friends anymore, but he was always talking about, like, not a girlfriend, like a wife, wanting a wife and things like that. And I remember sitting on a couch next to him one time. He's like, that's just not going to happen for me. And like, it was a crazy moment where he was just kind of like, that's just not going to happen for me. I was like, damn, homie. And
does it got to be that way?
No, he's just got to get over his misogyny issues. But he's it's probably going to end up being that way, but it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yep. I was gonna say that's gonna be a hard one because if you're a misogynist and girls pick up on it, they're not gonna be with you. They're not gonna want to be with you. So you gotta really deal with that.
Yeah, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know. So, but yeah, I just really I love the song. It was great. It was out of the box, but it wasn't pretentious. Didn't go on too long. It was just extremely unique. Again, like the most unique song I've heard. I mean, man, there were two songs tonight that the noise metal, noise rock, whatever you want to call it, and this song,
The Japanese one,
really, really left a mark. It leaves a mark on you. Like,
it left a mark on me too.
I wish I had my amp right there because I'd be on that shit right now. Like,
Aw.
it just puts you in such a. I wish
You could.
everybody could play an instrument. Like,
You know where you are.
it puts you. Yeah, I said the hard. Do they have amps?
I mean, I'm sure
I'm at the Hard Rock Hotel right now, so like, if they have amp, I'm gonna call them up right now. If they got an amp,
I know they'll deliver a guitar to your room. I don't know if they'll deliver you an amp. But.
Yeah. Question: as an ascender, you are a sinner going up to the heavenly heights. Hopefully, as a descender, you are pure coming to earth to hopefully help us. Why choose ascender?
Oh, she's talking to right?
A very brilliant way to do that question. Okay, 9.9 for this song.
A 9.7 for me.
I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And a very, I could have said so much more, but I decided against it because I want to respect everybody's time. But lyrically, it was very, very, very interesting. You know what, Negative? One of these days, we should do like a 4-song stream that's like chock full of Buddhist / Christian themes and like review them. See how it works. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I see a lot of overlap. Like I said, I think there's going to be some sort of cosmic Buddhism is going to be the next.
I almost think instead of
next
like a
big thing.
4-song stream, it would be better to have like a 1 song and you have a panel. So like us, you could have Sadie, you could have, like the different points of view. Negative, have the different points of view on the panel, and then we all like.
Yeah, no, I like that.
That would be fun.
That's legit. All right, you beautiful people. This was a great and wonderful time. We are having a the battle of the bands, the jihad, whatever. I don't have the name for the thing yet. Be on the lookout. We're going to be shooting a commercial pretty soon because there have been some vicious lies that was spread about yours truly, about him being afraid, things of that nature. And on top of, to make it even worse, they try to accuse me of being afraid of a girl.
What? And a girl that's not even in the same state.
A girl that's not even in the same state as me.
What?
So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for that, you losers. We will be shooting a commercial.
Wait, so is that happening Saturday?
We will be shooting a commercial, inshallah, to bias you towards my perspective. Having said that,
all right, you guys, we'll see
much
you
love
later.
To all you beautiful people. We love you. We're out of here now. We're at the Rock and Roll Hotel. Okay, wherever you are, we're in a better position. Okay.
He's a baby.